Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. So I started my comic Arcturus Rising back in 2018 and it's still going. I have other projects, so it sometimes moves slower than I'd like. Couple that with a repetitive strain injury affecting my hands and I knew something had to give. I've always been super passionate about pre-made assets for this exact reason, so today I'm sharing 15 of my favorite assets for Webtoon creators that will surely speed up your drawing process and hopefully save you some troubles down the line. Timestamps and links to anything I recommend will be in the description. To start off, this is a thumbnail template that's really similar to what I use to plan out my fight scenes. I've been doing them traditionally up until now, but this guide makes it so that I don't have to break out the ruler every time I need to plan out a new scene. It's really simple to use. When you make a new file, you just click the template icon and it's right there, so I like it. It's handy. So if you're like me and struggle with creating interesting compositions, this next auto action might be for you. It's a one-click process to split your composition into thirds. The rule of thirds is a simple guide that has your subject occupying the right or left third of an image while the other two sections remain less detailed. This helps draw the viewer's eye where you actually want it. Now for some assets I'm going to be retiring out of my collection soon, but I still think they're super useful. We've got front-facing and side profile head vectors. These are great, especially if you're not quite confident in your stylized anatomy yet, and even if you are, they're easy to drag onto the page just for planning your composition. Next, I'm including 2 sets of glasses, which have quickly become my favorites. Since CSP introduced 3D primitives, I've been wondering what use they could have besides blocking out scenes. These glasses are actually 2D artwork textured over an invisible cube, making it so you can pose it on your 2D characters and still have it look hand-drawn. So next up is just a simple pack of 2D hands to start off your hand-based collection. I've been downloading as many of these as I can, and they really speed up the process, especially when I'm just drawing a lower detailed character or I need a quick pose. They're also great for reference if you don't want to fully trace them. Now, if you need something more complex, I recommend this 3D hand model. The author has actually updated it a couple times, and each time they update it, it gets better. I like this model because you can use the hand poses normally reserved for full character models without the rest of the body getting in the way. Okay, so to go along with that, I'm including some 3D smartphone models simply because I've used them too many times not to include them in at least one list. I figure they'll pair nicely with the 3D hands too, since you can actually pose them together. Okay, so next up is an auto action that adds a subtle glow around your subject. It's similar to adding a bloom effect and should work great for ambient lighting. Another new one to my collection is this saturated line tool. Now, if you're still drawing effect lines the traditional way, it's time to come to the dark side. The control this gives you with CSP's vector points is great, and I really like all the line width variations the download lets you choose from. Okay, so next up I've got another line art extraction tool. I had one in the last video that was probably better for photos, but this I prefer to use for 3D character models. You have to tweak it a bit, but I find it really useful for creating my own mobs or for extracting a base sketch off of any of my 3D objects. Okay, so for backgrounds, I've been trying to incorporate my own photography to speed things up, and this quick auto action makes photos more stylized. This auto action can take a minute if you don't have the best PC or if you work on an iPad, but I think the result is well worth it, and it's going to take a lot longer to draw it yourself, so if you can spare some time, why not? So on to my 3D background recommendations. All of these are actually on Acon 3D and will require a program called SketchUp. I've collected a couple different bedrooms, fantasy settings, and modern settings. I'm really trying to showcase either like cheap models or ones I know will get a lot of use. It's obviously going to depend on what your story is about and what the setting is, but here's some generic sets to get you started. So I love Clip Studio's Panorama feature, but actually finding a use for it can be a little bit tricky since they can come out a little fish-eyed. However, this sky panorama, I want like 20 more of these. I love it. I think they'd be great, especially for like flying scenes or if you have more complex backgrounds where a 3D sky would really come in handy. Okay, so this next one is a paid asset, but considering how much use I've gotten out of it, it really is worth the investment. These are a collection of sound effects and their associated fonts. They're super versatile, and with a bit of tweaking, you can get most of your needed effects out of this set alone. I find no matter what sound effect I'm looking for, I can find something in this set that will meet my needs. Okay, so last up we have some of my favorite gradients for establishing mood and atmosphere. They're subtle enough where I don't have to fiddle with them too much, and they're also just super versatile. This has definitely been one of my must-have downloads. So that's all I have for you now. This was a bit of a smaller video while I work on some stuff, but please let me know if you liked it, and I can definitely compile more of my favorite assets. Trust me, I have plenty. If you'd like to support me, please consider checking out my Patreon for more behind-the-scenes goodies and access to my work before anyone else. Have a good day, you guys. Oh, and like and subscribe. I forgot about that one. Like and subscribe. Do that. Please. I don't know how to be a YouTuber anymore. Okay, bye.